Dive bomb!
Patrick!
And there comes a giant fish!
Patrick, no!
Hey guys, Crispy Bacon here with another Titan build for you. This is particularly a Gambit Prime Invader build, but you can definitely make certain pieces of it work in PvE and PvP. I call it Deathbringer. Let's take a look. So to begin, let's go over the gear required to make this build yourself, starting off with our weapons. The first and most important weapon for this setup is Izanagi's Burden. This is an exotic sniper rifle from Season of the Forge that occupies the primary slot. The quest to obtain this weapon is a bit long and complicated, so definitely use the internet as a resource to help you track it down. All that I'll say about it right now is that it has the power to take out an enemy guardian in a single body shot. Next up in our energy slot is the Ikelos shotgun. The shotgun is obtained as a drop from defeating certain final bosses of Escalation Protocol on Mars. Make sure to check online to see if the correct boss is in rotation this week. This shotgun comes with a perk known as Trench Barrel, allowing extra damage for the next 3 shots after meleeing an enemy. Lastly, in our heavy slot, we'll be using an old classic, Hammerhead. This is a machine gun from Season of the Forge, and you can chat with Ada1 in the tower to help you get set up with forging this weapon. For the armor required, we'll be using a full Notorious Gambit Prime Invader set with an exotic swap out on our helmet. For perks, we'll want to prioritize any sniper rifle perks such as Scavenger and Unflinching, as well as Special Ammo Finder. For mods, we'll want 4 super mods with 1 impact mod, and for our armor stats, we'll want to prioritize mobility and recovery over resilience. For our exotic armor piece, we'll be using an Insurmountable Skullfort. This helmet is essential to the setup and allows for an extremely aggressive playstyle that we're looking to achieve. Its exotic perk is Transfusion Matrix. Kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. For our subclass, we'll be using Middle Tree Striker, known as Code of the Missile. The perks are Thunder Crash, which enables us to perform the new super ability of the same name, Ballistic Slam, which enables a sprinting airborne melee slam attack, Impact Conversion, which converts damage from Ballistic Slam into super energy, and Inertia Override, which reloads equipped weapons when sliding over ammo, and also provides increased weapon damage for a short time. So the next thing I'd like to do is go over the Invader Gambit Prime armor set as well as the role itself, just to make sure that everyone understands the perks that the armor set provides us, as well as what the expected role for an Invader should be. So the perks are as follows. Assassin's Munitions. While invading, ammo slowly trickles to your kinetic and energy weapons over time. Lethal Defense. Grants an improved invasion overshield. Killmonger. Each Guardian defeated while invading grants a temporary damage buff once you return to your own arena. And Bankrobber. Invading locks the enemy's bank. Stand near the locked bank to drain motes. With the perks out of the way, I wanted to chat about the actual role of being an Invader in Gambit Prime. I want to make sure that everyone is playing the role as it should be played and helping out their teams as much as possible. The first mistake that I see is Invaders just standing by the portal for the entirety of a match, waiting to invade, and really not helping the teammates out at all. So yes, as an Invader, one of your main goals is to go through the portal when it's activated, take out as many Guardians as possible, and ensure that they lose as many motes as possible, but that is not your only role. Every ally, regardless of the role that they're playing, should be focusing on killing enemies when the time is right, as well as bringing motes back to the bank to add to your team's collection. And this build takes that strategy into mind in terms of balancing its ability to take out enemy Guardians, as well as kill as many enemy combatants as possible. So let's go ahead and move on to what you're all really here for. How are we killing enemy Guardians? What weapons are we using? What strategies are we implementing? And how quickly are we taking out these full teams? So it really all comes down to Izanagi's Burden when we're invading. This exotic sniper rifle is absolutely incredible at taking out full teams because it uses special ammo and it can one-tap Guardians to the body. If you're unfamiliar, this ability to one-tap Guardians to the body actually comes from this weapon's exotic perk called Honed Edge. So what this exotic perk allows us to do is hold the reload button and essentially take our reserve ammo that's in our magazine and create one extremely powerful bullet out of multiple bullets. We can get a Honed Edge of ×2 and ×3 by loading 2 or 3 bullets respectively, but to get these insta-kill Guardian body shots, we're going to need Honed Edge ×4, which means we need at least 4 sniper shots remaining. The ability to kill a Guardian in just one body shot is extremely beneficial, especially in Gambit Prime. It doesn't require the long-range precision of a sniper shot because you can just shoot them in the torso, in the foot, and you will end up getting that kill as long as they didn't have a large overshield on. And when it comes to long-range battles, you can usually get your shot off before the enemies because you don't have to worry about lining up the shot quite as nicely. So the play here is, before you invade, load in Honed Edge ×4 by using 4 bullets, enter through the portal, get your first shot off, ideally killing a Guardian in one shot, and then right after you kill that Guardian, you have two options here. You can either sprint forward and hold square, or you can tap triangle twice and then hold square. The gun can be a bit wonky when you're trying to load Honed Edge. Sometimes when you hold square, it'll count it instead of a Honed Edge reload as a regular reload, and instead of giving you Honed Edge ×4, it'll simply load 4 bullets into the magazine. Thus, either sprinting forward and then reloading, or changing weapons and then reloading, helps to ensure that you're actually getting a regular Honed Edge reload instead of the standard reload. I found it very easy to get full team wipes using only Izanagi's Burden, just because everyone will eventually pop out to try to see where the Invader is, and that's your time to pop them with that body shot and get that insta-kill. As for ammo sustain, we actually have a nice little synergy with the Invader set here. With the perk Assassin's Munitions, while invading, ammo slowly trickles to your kinetic and energy weapons over time, which means that while we're invading with Izanagi's Burden, we're actually going to be getting free ammo while we're invading, which helps us keep our special ammo stocks up for the sniper. If we do end up running out of ammo with Izanagi's Burden, we do have 2 weapons that we can use as backup. Obviously, our Ikelos shotgun is going to be our last resort when we're invading, because getting up close and personal with other Guardians is usually going to be a dangerous call. That being said, Hammerhead is an excellent killing tool. If we've run out of ammo with our Izanagi's Burden, or an enemy's trying to engage us at close to medium range, we can easily swap over to Hammerhead and tear them apart. Now this will obviously require some heavy ammo, but Hammerhead does still remain in my eyes the king of machine guns when it comes to killing enemy Guardians. Its low recoil, slow rate of fire, and high damage makes it ideal for engaging Guardians at close to medium range, and especially with the additional overshield we have as an Invader with this Invader set, we can even outduel other Hammerhead users when we invade. And if all of these weapons were not enough to take out our targets, we still have one of the best shutdown supers in the game as our available resource. What Thunder Crash allows us to do is essentially single out at least one Guardian to kill guaranteed when we invade. This super is really hard to shut down because while you're midair, you're difficult to shoot, and then when you do land and make that explosion upon hitting the ground, the AoE effect is gigantic, it does a lot of damage, and can even shut down other Guardians while they're in their super. The last thing I wanted to cover about being an Invader is the final perk that our Invader armor set gives us, as well as the general concept of draining enemy motes. The final perk provided by our Tier 3 armor set is a very important one. Bankrobber essentially locks down the enemy bank whenever we invade, which prevents them from banking any motes, and it also means that when we stand close to their bank, we actually drain motes. I did dabble for just a bit trying to determine what the best loadout would be to focus on draining your enemy's motes as an Invader, and essentially this involves Top Tree Sentinel and using the Ward of Dawn, placing it on top of your enemy's bank, and essentially being invincible while you drain their motes and the enemy can't do anything about it. This strategy is definitely a fun way to play. If you cannot acquire Izanagi's Burden or Insurmountable Skullfort for any reason, this secondary strategy could actually be pretty beneficial for you. As an Invader, killing enemy Guardians, taking them out of the game for a short time, as well as making sure they lose their own motes, is always going to be more beneficial than simply draining motes. But that being said, draining motes with this strategy can waste your enemy's time, it can waste their super, and it can add a lot of their motes into your own bank. If you try this, I'd recommend throwing on a sword, and then whatever exotic you like, including even Helm of Saint 14, which blinds enemies when they enter your dome. So this essentially covers all of the strategies we'll be implementing when we do invade, but remember, like I said before, even though we're invading here, we do have our other job, which means to help our teammates kill enemies as well as banking motes. So how are we going to achieve that? So the first thing that I want to address is the fact that I'm using 2 weapons that require special ammo. Under normal circumstances, using 2 weapons that require special ammo can be difficult, and you can run out of ammo very quickly. However, with this build's final tool that we're going to talk about, we're going to be using as little special ammo as possible whenever we're not invading. So in this case, we're going to be using the Ballistic Slam ability, available with Middle Tree Striker, and we're also going to be benefiting from Impact Conversion, which means that any damage we deal with Ballistic Slam will turn into super energy. Now this ability is great in its own right, but you have to remember what exotic armor piece we're using. Again, Insurmountable's exotic perk is kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. This means that anytime we get at least one kill with Ballistic Slam, we are starting our health regeneration, getting super energy, as well as completely refreshing our melee ability cooldown. The fact that we can use this melee ability indefinitely is great for a few reasons. The first is that this ability can be used as a great mob clearing tool. It clears a lot of adds very quickly, and because of the added health regeneration, you can stay in the game for a long time. The second is that this setup is going to require minimal ammo whenever we're trying to clear mobs, which is especially useful in this case because we are running 2 special ammo weapons, and ammo consumption can be a bit difficult to manage. Additionally, because of the impact conversion perk, we are getting a ton of super energy using this strategy, because every time we get a kill with our melee ability, we are gaining super energy from each enemy killed. And because of this, another great perk to look for is Hands On, which gives you extra super energy whenever you get melee kills. But because of the RNG nature of perk rolls on armor, this perk can be a bit difficult to come by. Regardless of the Hands On perk, we're going to be getting our super a lot during a single Gambit Prime match. And having Thunder Crash available at all times is extremely beneficial both on the PvE and the PvP side of Gambit. We'll be able to use it to clear large groups of mobs, as well as do decent damage to bosses and majors. Additionally, having Thunder Crash available with each of our invades means that we'll be able to easily single out those guardians carrying high amounts of motes so that we can make sure the enemy team loses as many motes as possible. Those 4 super mods on our armor will definitely help maintain these high amounts of supers per game. And that extra impact mod is there just in case we do end up missing one of our Ballistic Slams. We'll want to get our melee back as fast as possible, and an impact mod is going to help us do that. And our final synergy here exists between Ballistic Slam and the Ikelos shotgun. Because Ballistic Slam counts as a melee ability, every time we Ballistic Slam, we actually activate Trench Barrel, meaning that we can turn around after a Ballistic Slam and do tons of damage to any high-level mobs. But hey guys, that'll about do it for this video. Thank you so much for those who stuck around to the end. I know there was a lot of information here, and I hope I kept you entertained the whole time. For those who haven't yet, definitely join up on Discord and follow me on Twitch. There's going to be a bit more activity on both of those platforms in the near future, and I don't want you guys to miss anything. Just want to mention I seriously appreciate all of the great feedback and comments you guys have been leaving. If you want to talk to me, you can do so on PlayStation Network, or on Discord, or just here in the comments section. I love talking about Destiny, and there's going to be a lot more of that in the future. So thanks guys, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.